Hello you plonkers and welcome back today to another video on the Druzy channel. We are here to discuss AFL pre-season training. The football season is done, but if you are a footballer, it is just the start of the cycle again for you. We've had the time off, now it's time to crack back in, get fit and strong, and here I am today to tell you how to do that. But who am I to say this? Over the past 4 years, I've trained elite youth athletes aged 15 to 19 in the state system. That's boys and girls. I've run strength and conditioning programs in the waffle system for under 16s athletes, and I've got tertiary education studying exercise sports and rehabilitation science at Curtin University for 4 years. So through the knowledge and experience I have gained in the last 4 years, I'm going to share with you how to get nice and strong during the pre-season. I'm also going to do a conditioning version of this video next week, so you should know how to get strong and fit come next season. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like on the video, it supports me a lot, and comment down below whatever, just say good day. So let's get in how to get strong in the pre-season. The definition of strength is the ability to carry out work against a resistance. In the AFL, strength is important to run faster, to break tackles, to be able to tackle, and to be able to beat your opponent in a marking contest. Developing strength isn't something that happens overnight. It's a process that takes a fair amount of planning, which takes a while to see the results off. By applying high amounts of resistance to the body during the pre-season, the body gets broken down and then adapts to be able to exert force against that placed stimulus, let's say. So if this stimulus is placed on the body during the season, it can potentially reduce performance. Not to say that strength training isn't done during the in-season period, but it's a little bit different to how it's managed in the pre-season. So I'm going to break this down into 4 parts, how to develop strength during the pre-season. The first part is learn the basic movements. If you're 14 to 16, you're a football player, you want to be fit and strong for next season, but you've never been to the gym before, all I want you to do, starting now, ideally, is spend about 3 months in the gym, literally just learning the movements. Upper body push, upper body pull, lower body hinge, and lower body push movements as well. Literally just knowing what your muscles do. It's a very important skill to learn. Proprioception, knowing where your body is in space and knowing which muscles to use to achieve those actions. You need to spend at minimum, absolute minimum, 3 months learning the movements in the gym before you can even start to think about plyometric training or strength training, moving lots of weight for low reps, because I can tell you from experience of being injured myself and training athletes that get injured, if you try to do a training modality that is higher than your level of experience, you will get injured, guaranteed. As you haven't done these movements before, you need to train the movements so that your motor neurons, this is super geeky, this is where my uni comes in, but you need to do the movements so much that your muscles know how to contract correctly, which is only done through repetition over a period of time. If you hop under the bench press and you're trying to bench press 80 kilos and you've never done bench press before, 1, if you're somehow strong enough to get it up, you're not going to do it properly, which can lead to injury of your shoulder, for example. And 2, you're probably going to drop it on yourself. You're not going to be able to bench 80 kilos and you're just going to look like a mug. Increasing your strength comes with planning. You're not going to be able to wing it if you don't know what you're doing. So if you're 14 to 16, learn the fundamental movements first. The second phase of increasing strength is putting on muscle size. Let's say you're 16 to 18. You're in that range. You've learned the fundamental movements. We're starting pre-season. What we need to do is put on some muscle bulk, also known as hypertrophy training, in that early off-season / pre-season phase. Putting on muscle size gives you more muscle, which is capable of producing force. We'll get to that. But it also provides support around your joints and reduces the risk of injury. Building muscle size places a lot of stress on the body because to build muscle, you have to break muscle down. So you don't want to be doing this during times of high load when you're doing lots of conditioning or whether you're playing games, whatever the case may be. You don't want to be doing hypertrophy training whilst putting your body through a lot of stress through football and conditioning. So make sure before you go back to your footy clubs, you are putting in the work, getting muscle size on in that period. before you go back to being involved in a program. Part 3 of getting strong this pre-season is to get strong and powerful. As you progress through your training program over the pre-season, you'll start to notice that you do get a bit more size from that bulking period, but size does not necessarily equal strength, and I'll tell you why. Size does not necessarily equal strength because typically, I'm not saying it's the only way to do it, but hypertrophy training is done through a higher amount of reps. So you might be pushing weight for, say, 8 reps, whereas if you want to get strong, you want to be doing that for 4 reps, let's say. Therefore, after the hypertrophy period, when you have made all that muscle size, it can then be translated to strength by pushing high amounts of load, heavy weight, for low reps. It's also during this phase where you'll see athletes start doing plyometric movements, which are quick, explosive, powerful movements, things like box jumps, tuck jumps, all those sorts of things, pogos and whatnot, to teach that muscle to explode straight away as soon as there is contact. So we've learned the basic movements as 14 to 16 year olds. We've come out of the footy season. Now we're trying to put on size going into the early stages of the pre-season. Once we're in the pre-season, that's where we're focusing on getting strong and powerful. Now the fourth and final stage of strength training in the pre-season is to transfer that strength and power into functional movements that you will use in football. The closer you get to round 1, the more functional movements you'll be doing and the less isolation exercises you'll be doing, unless it's an accessory exercise that serves a function. So at this stage, you've got big muscles, you've trained them to be strong. Now it's time to put that to use on the footy field. So for upper body, that might be a clap push-up to get those double donagis going, medicine ball throws, landmine presses, things like that, where you're putting momentum through your entire body to produce force outwards. For lower body, you'll typically see things like trap bar deadlifts, box jumps, lunging and marching type movements as well. All of these things where we're moving the body through space, we're not just isolating a muscle. And this is the phase of the program where we're heading to the in-season phase, where you want to be able to run faster, jump higher, all of those things. Pre-season can also consist of doing rehab on areas that may have got injured during the season, or just sorting out niggles which were affecting your performance. It's not necessarily all just strength and power, it's just getting your body right as well as being strong and powerful. And it can involve other training modalities such as high intensity interval training, etc, etc. But I'm only just scraping the surface of what goes into a strength program in an AFL pre-season. There's only so much you can cover in a short YouTube video, but I hope it gets the cogs ticking to understand how you want to train this pre-season heading into the 2023 season. Quick little scoop here, but I will be selling programs soon. If you're an AFL footballer, keep an eye out on the socials and on the YouTube channel, because I will have some programs coming out soon, which I've learned through my experience in the last 4 years. So if you want to make next year the best year of your footy life yet, keep your eyes peeled on my socials and on my YouTube, and I will potentially be able to sort you out without giving too much away. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Next week, keep your eyes peeled. I'll be doing a conditioning video relating to running fitness as well as movement components that you can do in the pre-season that can translate to your game in 2023 and beyond. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment down below. 2023 is the year for me, and I suppose I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care, you plonkers.